What team are you most excited to watch this year for the NHL? For me, I broke it down into basically any of the Canadian teams that play each other is going to be awesome. You got every one of those Canadian teams play each other 8 times. And then, can you imagine you're having Austin Matthews, John Tavares, um, Patrick Marler's not on the Maple Leafs anymore, but who was the other guy? Oh, Mitch Marner. Play McDavid, Leon Draisaitl 8 times. 8 freaking times. The Ottawa Senators have Matt Murray now. Brady Tkachuk's awesome. I love the Tkachuk kids, man. These kids can play. Keith Tkachuk was one of my all-time favorite players. I loved him on the Phoenix Coyotes. There's the whole reason why I got that old school. I have a starter Phoenix Coyotes sweater somewhere, and can you believe how much worth this thing is right now? It's worth like $400 or $500. A starter freaking jersey from the Coyotes. The only starter that I have that I was able to find in my collection I have here at the house that's probably not at my mom's is this really old Detroit one. Starter, large. This logo is just fine. I've heard a lot of issues with the logos on these. I'll do a hockey. I'll do a sweater collection in one of these videos, and you're gonna hear me use the word sweater a lot because they're not called jerseys; they're sweaters. Because back in the old time hockey, they were actual sweaters because it was literally cold out. So today I have on my Kapanen, old school Sammy Kapanen, whose son is Kasperi Kapanen. But yeah, I'm really excited to see any of those Canadian teams. I think Canadian hockey right now is must-watch TV. It's after the fourth time these teams play each other, they're gonna want to kill each other. I mean, I would say the third time. Another team I'm super excited to watch is the Dallas Stars because they play Tampa Bay 8 freaking times because somehow they ended up in the same division as the Tampa Bay Lightning. So it's literally physically impossible for the same Stanley Cup to happen as it did last year. There's no possible way for it to be a repeat because of COVID and shortened season, the different divisions. I'm super excited to see Dallas and Tampa Bay play. That's must watch for sure. And Philadelphia, the Flyers. Flyers hockey is always going to be exciting. They're just a fun team to watch, but they're not my top team to watch. Now I watch every Flyers game because I'm a Flyers fan, right? I'm from Philly. I love the Flyers. I think they got the best logo in the league. If one of the best logos in the league besides, the duck. Well, you can't see it on camera, but it's over yonder. The Wild Wing. But and I'm gonna get all these. I've made my mind. I pretty much want every one of them. The Adidas retros. They're just so they're all beautiful. The next one I'm getting is the Coyotes though. But anyway, Flyers hockey right now for me is super exciting because you have so many young players that are going to develop from last year, like Morgan Frost, Nolan Patrick coming back into the lineup, Lindbaum coming back in from bone cancer. I mean, Hayes is he's so good. He fit this team. He fit this team's brand so well. Hayes does. And when they picked him up at first, and everybody was such, oh my God, this Hayes contract, it's so expensive. But no, he's Kevin Hayes. What do you mean? He's a fucking good player. He was great on the Jets, and I knew right away he was going to be a good player on his team, and I'd like to see him. I'd like to see him wear the captain one time. I think he's got the captain. It's between him and Coots for me. He's got to wear an alternate jersey or an alternate A for sure. I don't like what they did before with one guy's on the home games, one guy's on away games. Alternate captains. stop with all that switching home and away. I think you have Kevin Hayes as an alternate, Coots as an alternate, and then Drew as your captain, and maybe your sub captain if one of those guys get hurt is going to be. Who do you guys think? I would say leave in a comment who you think. I'm gonna probably go with JVR or Voracek. So those are my two. Or even maybe just throw fucking, Konechny gets fired up, man. He knows how to fire this team up. I wouldn't be surprised to see it on Konechny. But he's a good player. I'm excited to see Konechny, but we got to see, he's got to score 30 plus. Konechny's there for one reason, to score goals. We got to see 30 plus out of Konechny to get a good year out of the Flyers this year. Because of the shortened season, 30 goals is up there for him. So I think you give him like 15, 20, we'll do it. But he's got to have a good year. He's got to score a goal a game almost, He's got to have a big goals too. He's got to have like those tiebreaker goals, shootout goals or whatever. But he's got to have the big game goals. He's got to have big game moments. And I think a couple of those in the early on vibe, I think it's good that we're playing Pittsburgh first. I think the Penguins, they lose Matt Murray, but they have D. Smith and their other guy. Penguins and Flyers are going to be must-watch hockey every game. But because the Penguins are kind of in the same boat as like a lot of these teams, like the Penguins and the Capitals and the Flyers, and even Boston, these teams are getting old now. So, you got Giroux and Voracek, you got Backstrom, Ovechkin, you got Crosby, Malkin. These are all Stanley Cup contender teams this year. Maybe not so much Pittsburgh, because they're not so well brought out. Besides Crosby and Malkin, but they're always really so good you can't count them out until they're absolutely counted out. And then also Boston with Bergeron and Marchand. I mean, and they got a ton of young players in Krug and just Pasternak, and God, they're just a good team. So you can't count Boston and Pittsburgh out until they're out. They're always going to be a problem. They're always going to be right in your face. Must watch hockey for sure. Any of those teams like that. But they're in the same boat. All these teams are have the one same problem and one common issue. They're getting older. Their core star players are above 32, 33. I think some of them may be up there my age, like 35, 36. I'm 37 now, so I think Giroux's getting up there. Crosby's up there. Ovechkin's up there. I mean, these guys, can you believe how fast time goes? I remember when Ovechkin came in the league, and I'm like, who is this? This kid is so freaking big and strong and fast and good. And then Crosby came in the league. And now you got guys like and then Patrick Kane with his amazing hands. And then you have like a guy like Connor McDavid who had Sidney Crosby skating skills and ability and hockey sense. He had Ovechkin's size, and he had the speed of Ovechkin too. And he was just Connor McDavid is fucking good. But man, how can he's not even in the runner up for the best player in the world. You know who the best player in the world is? Nathan MacKinnon, because he's just an all around good player. And he's on a great team. The Oilers are like, whatever, maybe they'll do something this year. Who the freak knows? I think they finally figured out a goalie tandem. I don't know. The Oilers, they have such a good team, but them guys got to win, So for me, do or die situation for the Caps. They got maybe one more year to win it. The Flyers, this is about it for them. Maybe this year, next year, because their young talent is going to start being relied on because Giroux and Voracek are going to be time to go. I mean, those guys are getting too old. There's only so much you can play. And, so that's the situation in Philly, in Washington, in Boston, and in Pittsburgh. So all those teams right there that I just named are pretty much in the same boat, which is why it makes it must-watch hockey, because they all want to win a cup. And in that division, they all very much... It's a toss-up division. That whole division is like, what the freak? Any one of those teams can win. And then you got the Islanders, who for some odd reason didn't sign Brazil yet, which is what are they doing? I just signed him to the Ducks. Well, my team. On NHL 21, I got Brazil and I got Afala from the Kings. Afala? I forget his name, but man, my Ducks team. And I got Sergarev from Tampa Bay. So, oh man, we got killed last season. I simulated the rest of the season. Did well in the draft. I drafted all high caliber defensemen, and then just bought and sold my forwards. So Zegras isn't in the game, so I put my own creative player to take his place. So Trevor Zegras, though, like, so other must watch hockey, like beyond, the Canadian teams, and then my team, the Flyers, and then like just every team basically in that division that's going to play each other 8 times. I think must watch hockey is probably Vancouver Canucks. They have such a good team. They're a well-rounded team, and I think they're a fun team to watch for sure. And I don't think they're out of the realm of the possibility to win a Stanley Cup very soon. And so Vancouver Canucks is like kind of like my toss-up team to watch. And then I think, just like if there's nothing else on, I'll probably go spring for some West Coast hockey, and I wouldn't mind watching some Ducks games in that retro sweater because it's just so sick looking. And that team is in a rebuild phase, but they're not too bad. They got the best goalie in the world, arguably, in Gibson, but their backup, they're going to rely on him so much because they have Stolarz, and Stolarz is not nothing to write home about. He was on Philly. I know a lot about Stolarz. If you're a Ducks fan and you're watching this, he's nothing special. I think you'll probably see Ryan Miller more than him, which is a shame, but, because he's old as shit, Ryan Miller is. What's he, like 42? I mean, he was like 40 like 5 years ago when he was – so, God, is he on the original team that won the Ducks the Stanley Cup? Did he win the cup with them? When and other Flyers. Remember that crazy goalie we had? What was his name? Brigzalov? Oh, my goodness. He was a mess, that guy. They used to have him in interviews right after the game, and he'd be like, yes, it's because of the stars and the sun. It was not lined up, yes? Like, dude, what the fuck are you talking about? Ugh, he was a mess, that guy. Actually, he still goes to some Flyers game with his kid, and he just sits in regular seats. Like, I don't know whatever happened to that dude, but anyways, never left Philly, I guess. He just couldn't take it anymore. He ended up on like Washington or somewhere for a little while after. Maybe went back to the Ducks. I forget, but he just kind of fell off and just don't play hockey anymore. He's probably a goalie coach or something. But so like some West Coast hockey, I like to watch the Ducks, and for my most exciting team to watch is, I'm gonna have to say, the Detroit Red Wings and the Chicago Blackhawks. That's a joke. There's poor teams. I feel like people still think that the Blackhawks have it in them to win a Stanley Cup with the Taves, Kane, Seabrook era, but I don't think so, guys. I think that they're done. I think it's time to move on from those players. I think that you see Kane maybe one more year. I would like to see Patrick Kane. I've always said that Patrick Kane should come to Philadelphia Flyers. The problem is he can't wear number 88, so I don't know if he would do that. Honestly, that's a selling point for a player. If he can't wear his number in a city, he might not go there. So, but if they offer him enough money, it's like, fuck that number, right? Like, but he will not be wearing number 88 because that's retired in Philadelphia, and it just looks a good-looking number, man. I got a Lindros jersey somewhere. Now, I got to talk to my friend at work because he says he's got a CCM Lindros jersey. I'm like, I'll buy it. Well, I want it because I can't find mine. So he says his wife wore one time. I'm like, if it's a CCM, I want that bad boy. Because this is a good-looking... The CCMs, they always did a really good job with these. And they still look good, They still look good. I have another one here. Oh, this is a Reebok. This is a Carter Reebok. These are terrible. Ugh. They might as well have been starter jerseys, right? Where's the other CCM? Oh, I think I have the black one over there. I think it's somewhere over there. But I have a couple of these Reeboks, and the Reebok ones were always just so shitty. I'm so glad Adidas took over because they're so beautiful. But let me say, Who is my exciting team to watch this year? Man, the Maple Leafs are such. I think the Maple. Well, like I said, that's a Canadian team, so it's like must watch. I'm telling you guys, any one of those Canadian teams, watch that hockey because honestly, I think I'm just gonna go with that. Maybe the Tampa Bay Lightning, right? Because they're Stanley Cup champions. They're so fucking good, but Steven Stamkos is injury prone still, and it's a shame because I don't know that you ever see him skate. He might be done. Yeah, that's one of those injuries that just might be it for Stamkos, which is a shame because you didn't see he could have been a great player, but unfortunately, just the hockey gods will not have it. But Stamkos is going to be a great coach or something one day, or an owner. He played his cards right with his money, and Stamkos. It just, man, I think I want to get a jersey, Lightning, just for Stamkos and support him because he's like what Nathan McKinnon is now. Could have been if he didn't get hurt so fucking much, man. I feel terrible for the guy. And he's a big guy, too. He's not a small guy, Stamkos. But, Nikita Kucherov, you have so many good players on a team. And they got the two best defensemen in Victor Hedman and Sergarev. Whatever. Two best defensemen in the world on that team. And that's why they won a Stanley Cup, because they have goaltending. Arguably the best goalie in the world. Vasilevsky is the best goalie in the world. There's no doubt about it. But Gibson is probably next. I think we'll do a power ranking best goalies in the NHL. Should we do... All right, maybe we'll do best goalies, just one-man goalie in the NHL. We'll go through all the teams. And then another video after that, we'll do best goalie tandems. Because you got to have a goalie tandem, especially in a shortened season like this. The reason, I know in the other video I mentioned, Marc-Andre Fleury on Vegas, how he was a $12 million headache, right, in net, and he's back up. But you're going to see a much, much better Marc-Andre Fleury now because he's not having a workload. You're going to see Robin Lehner play much, much better and much more. And Robin Lehner is a good backup. He's not the best backup in the world, in the league, but he's probably top 5. I think Elliott's probably top 10. We have Elliott. And then I think number 1's Jake Allen for sure. Riddick still thinks he's a number 1 goalie. I think you're going to probably see him go to Phoenix or not Phoenix, the Seattle team. I'm going to have to agree with the hockey guy on now. I think he's on to something there with the Riddick. But Darcy Kemper on Phoenix is a good goalie too. I mean, you got so many good goalies out there. It's just going to be fun to watch. But the Canadian teams, I think there's by far the most exciting hockey to watch this year, besides basically any time the Flyers play. Because the Flyers are going to be playing all these badass teams over on this in their division with the Capitals, 8 times the Islanders, 8 times the Rangers, 8 times the Penguins, 8 times the freaking New York Rangers, 8 times the Bruins. Holy shit, guys. It's gonna be a nutty season. When I was looking at how the season schedule was laid out, I'm like, what? It's just we're gonna get sick of seeing the same teams play. No, you're not. No, you're not. When the Flyers and Penguins play more than 3 games very close together like that, it's never a good thing. Oh my God. Remember the one year in the playoff, they just absolutely killed each other every year. I am going to miss seeing the Flyers play like Toronto, though. And, I'm going to miss I'm not going to miss the Flyers and play like these West Coast teams, though. I'm going to miss the Flyers playing a lot of like Detroit. Or, is Detroit in our division now? I forget. Nah, Detroit's in the Central. But yeah, Flyers and Tampa. We don't have to play Tampa this year. Man, we're not playing Chicago or Carolina. We're not playing a lot of teams. We're just playing Boston and New Jersey and Capitals and Pittsburgh. It's going to be good hockey to watch. I think the most boring to watch is probably going to be the Central Division, besides the fact Tampa Bay and Dallas. But Chicago, they stink. They're just. I'm sorry, Blackhawks fans. I don't think they got it. anymore. I think it's time to sell. I'd love to see Patrick Kane in a Flyer sweater. But I'm looking forward to definitely. My biggest thing is definitely, oh man, I can't wait to see Toronto and Edmonton play for the 4th game. See how that goes. But that's it, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Like, share, subscribe. Hope you enjoy the video. Next video, we'll talk about best centers. Or, no, goalies, right? Yeah. We'll do best goalies, and now we'll do best goalie tandem. Then we could do best forwards. We can do best of everything. So, have a great week. It's hockey week. A couple more days. January 13th. Season's underway. Flyers versus Pittsburgh. That's the first game I'm watching. We'll do another video before that. Before the start of that. Danny should be here, so she'll probably jump in for that one. And we'll talk a little bit about the predictions for the games for night 1. So I will see you guys in the next video. Like I said, like, share, subscribe below. Patreon link will be below if you want to get involved with that. The other channel link will be below. And that's it. I love you all. Have a great rest of your night. Peace.